Okay. We are in, my dude. Let's get everything situated. Chapter 5. Good God. We come a long way. We are literally one. Okay, there we go. Controller had died, I'm sorry. Okay, let's begin things with a bang. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes when preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
I've been waiting for this. It feels like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
Let's get on with the show. And so, the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly conception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. No. Yes, I will be getting... Yes, I will be jumping... I will be getting the bad ending. Yes, I'll be getting the bad ending. Because you had to do the bad ending. I can't keep telling you I'm gonna go for it and then not go for it.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
Oh yeah. Alright, I'll let you know. It's gonna be, I'll let you know. Plus it'll be pretty clear when it comes, but I'll still let you know. Another thing I didn't mention, the first like 5 or 10 minutes of this trial are gonna be completely stupid. I honestly believe that the first 10 minutes of this trial should not be a thing. Like, as you just, like what you just saw a second ago. We're talking about who the victim was, and Hiro's dumbass is like, it's Kyoko, but she literally just showed up, but whatever.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No! That's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology!
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait that Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her. Kyoko's gloves.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can prove why, but if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to. Like, this is so dumb. We're trying to figure out that the corpse isn't Kyoko, but she's literally standing and talking to us. Ignorance is bliss.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Tell him again. Give me a second. I'm doing something real quick. I'm sorry. Okay then. I know that body isn't Kyoko's, and I know I can prove it.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before.
Well, yeah,
She must have been wearing gloves.
Fucking retard.
No, that's wrong. No.
Exactly.
There's no way the
Hero
corpse
is
was
wasting
wearing
our time.
gloves.
Stupid.
Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
Hero's so dumb.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we had to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Ignorance is bliss. Oh my god.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
We need to find out who the victim was before we can do anything else.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file.
Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong.
Very true, Urza. Very true.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death? This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Damn.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information, we have the victim's identity. The victim's identity should become clear.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Urza, give her a chance. Give her a chance. You know, she has her moments.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... No, my F. I want that one. Aw. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it.
Now I understand! The representation of Fenrir is... a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man! After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
What? Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time, and when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
True.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Interesting.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record.
We're just gonna stop trusting Kyoko.
The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place.
But remember, Ursa, this trial gave everyone trust issues. I mean, while we already established, Kyoko told them that, like, I can't tell you anything because she doesn't know anything. They refused to believe her because she's been mysterious from day one. They refused to believe her. Doesn't matter if she saved their butts or not. You still holding some valuable information from us.
Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on all we know, there can only be two suspects. Makoto and Kyoko, Mukuro and the headmaster, Toko and Genocide Jack. It's Makoto and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only
Are me
Oh, my fault.
and Makoto.
All the ones without alibis.
That's
Are
why
me
you're
and
able to
Makoto.
narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was body discovered? At 9 o'clock?
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably not on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
so we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove that the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
The incident took place in the garden, right? If I remember, there's something that happens there every morning at a certain time.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto...
Yeah, from to 7:30.
That's more than enough time. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would...
We've established a time frame
for the murder.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at...
No, that's wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
30.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Just like Urza told me, don't put your entire existence on some sprinklers. Jesus Christ.
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it.
I admit nothing. No! That's enough!
Holy shit,
Are
this thing is
you
fast.
trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. I admit nothing. No! That's
Oh God.
enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No! That's enough!
Oh shit.
Are you trying to blame me? How can you say it wasn't the
This should prove it. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
You've always been sick.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene of the... A certain something at the scene of the crime. That the scene was used to cover the body. It could have been... tarp.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Why are you helping her frame you?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place.
But you know Makoto's a nice guy.
In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. The tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, The tarp must have touched the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
Oh, you see that? They added
It's 'cause
Makoto
that
in the
side
things
was
now.
protected from the water. But since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
There has to be a clue hidden in the tarp somewhere.
By covering the body with the tarp,
The killer prevents.
So the reason that was because the spring, but the underside, it was totally. It's because that side was.
Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong.
Soru Asagayo.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
Nice guy, doormat. Doesn't matter. I love how you included doormat, which is low-key kind of true. Makoto is a doormat.
Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
more than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
They got blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean...
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
Yes.
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Damn.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
Talk, woman.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me? Ha! You were used in the first trial. We'll see. True.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I had to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it!
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Damn. I used that knife to kill Mukuro? No, there's no way.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body. It's the same one. It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that knife before, that seals it! Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her.
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. They were, however, dead before the blast.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
We'd all be dead at that point.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Tell them, Naegi. There's only one explanation I can think of for the explosion.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb!
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
we need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I can only think of one thing that could have killed her.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Best friends.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kinda weird.
She was nervous and intelligent. Listen. I think. Okay. I say calling Toko weird. Nah, I was gonna say that's an understatement, but Toko just got like some crazy fetishes and fantasies. All right, but I guess we all got our kinks, okay?
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master! You have no right!
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
You sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right?
It seems like an arrow would just be too thick. No, that's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just... there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... which would mean that Kyoko... she killed someone? For me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker
Key in my own room.
correct? But could I really have done that?
Byakuya should know that Kyoko didn't do it, but why him?
Those words you just spoke, what do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in.
Hold up. Urza, tell me how you feeling about the trial so far. We keep getting thrown back between Makoto and Kyoko. How you feeling?
Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. Oh, and also you saw me save just now, so you know what that means. No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is the trap the mastermind has laid for us. The mastermind's trap. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? All your trust is in Kyoko, eh? Intriguing. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko? But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The mastermind's trap. The victim was Mukuro and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Pursue the lie, let it go, run away. But you can't run away. If you try to run away, nothing's gonna happen. So we either call her out or let it go. Well, we're gonna call her out.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko was definitely lying, and it must be because there's some deeper truth that she wants to keep hidden.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
Kyoko says it wasn't her who left the key to the dojo in her locker room. The key to the locker in her room. But is that really true?
I didn't have the key to my room, because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Don't do it. Yeah.
No, that's wrong. No, Kyoko could have gotten into her room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Actually, to be precise, not quite. I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing—
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Huh? Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. We got it right? Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko!
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
I've prepared an extra special punishment this time. Is everyone ready? Okay then.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Jesus Christ, Ursa. What am I gonna do with you? They're dead already. And that's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent, or... Regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And in the end, it proved to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Peace, but only inside the school. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? But yes, Urza, as you see, this is the bad ending. This is the bad ending. And like I said, you'd be like, that just happened. But at the same time, you'd like it because you hate Toko so much. As you see, it looks like she and Byakuya had a kid, but Toko passed away. And it looks like Naegi and Hiro are repopulating through Asahina. As weird as that is, like, good God, this is hope.
No, this isn't right.
Yeah, but this isn't right. Huh? Yeah, so what you just witnessed, that was the bad ending. That's what happens if you decide to call Kyoko out on her lies. Alright? That's what you get.
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
And yes, as we see, like, that was all just, like, pretty much a dream, though. Like, if we do choose, that's what we kind of get. Her claim? Oh, that's right. I have to... Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? You spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? She's not wrong. I had to think about this very carefully. What do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie, pursue the lie, let it go. Well, we pursued it and I showed you the bad ending, so now we're just gonna let it slide, let her lie. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here, something that has to do with the mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it.
Yeah, right. I know. I agree with you. Yeah, the future would have been truly tragic. Asahina don't want that and don't need that.
I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What?
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why... This has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Turn on the bear.
Now, who will be chosen as the Blackened? Will you make the right choice
Oh,
or
trophy.
the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials, and I'm gonna let it end the same way.
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I... Kyoko!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
I remember this in hell. Huh? Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that? Yeah, it had to be.
This is...
Alter ego? Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell. I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. You're the best character here. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage strong pit in a way that's even better than special punishment. I'm not turning on the bear. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time. Huh?
In other words...
Now it's the master. Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. It's very soon indeed. The massive high school towers all over the other building. Towers over all other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable, a government-funded school of privilege. They say if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There were two things you need to attend this school. 1, you have to already be attending high school. 2, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on the top of a wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zoink off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any class I've ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Finally, I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then, I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. This was some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and die? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me, and he used up the last bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself, and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First I was looking first up was to start looking for a way out of here. There's a door. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Alter ego is our true hero. Alter ego is our Lord and Savior, but he's dead, unfortunately. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon, I decided to look around for some food. In the trash? There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. He rose from his death once and he'll do it again. But that's still not enough reason to give up, because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think I think at least a full day had to have passed, and all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell up from above. What could it have been? Who's in here? What's in here? Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched out my hand toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
This place smells awful. Kyoko, look at your head.
Indeed.
You look like you were doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. Look at that face. She's like, I am disgusted. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. Phew, that really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. You still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Mm-hmm. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. No. Or no. To atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but There was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive? What are you talking about? Kyoko didn't know. Kyoko came back for him. Well, she did say she went to atone, so. Yo, hey, listen. Kyoko's still a badass. I don't care. Kyoko's still a badass. You still love her. Or is that you still love her? Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. The reason I had to survive
In other words,
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind. I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
indeed.
That's right, at least. I did. Once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible.
Huh?
Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying that you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive. It was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean, somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal. Don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind. One of us. If she believed that, then of course she wouldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because, among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like that dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So, how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad? Is Hope's Peak headmaster? Then that explains... When Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved... I'll find a way. Huh? No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? So as you see, Urza, yes. I believe you mentioned like a character in the third game in V3. You asked me if they were a detective, and you said, I think you said that you thought that's probably what Kyoko was. Well, yes, you are correct. Kyoko is the ultimate detective, which, you know, with our little joking around, would also make so much sense why she's been saving everyone's lives, because she picks up on this kind of stuff. Because that's what detectives do. They pick up the details. And also we see why she showed emotion for the first time. The headmaster, who Alter Ego said was the mastermind, was her father. So of course she'd be shocked like this. It's all coming together now. Proof that we're reaching the climax. We have one more chapter left after all. My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Is this some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's the layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with the Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized... Whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. It sounds like it must be important. And really ominous.
However...
Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Kusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means... Everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Kusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words,
the mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean during the night?
I
can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me to cases just like this.
Anyway.
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. Just a little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. I get so hyped when the song comes on. Oh my god. But, Urza, how are you feeling about, all this, information? Like, we're getting closer and closer to the truth of everything. Don't you just, but don't you understand, Urza? Don't you see? This is why I love Danganronpa so much. I love it so much. I will ride this series dick to the day I die. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about...
That's right.
What happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Who's ever responsible for that? They're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Yeah, see? Yeah, you forgive Kyoko. Awesome. All is right with the world. Balance has been restored.
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Dream Island rocket. 5 alive. I know, right? My song. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now...
Anyway...
Right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come later. Come after. Yeah, you're right. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open a door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then... Yes, it opened!
Indeed.
Now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. Y'all need a shower. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful. Chapter 6, the final chapter. I feel like crying. I don't know why. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. Them legs! The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. Nah, I don't need a moment. I don't need a moment just yet. I feel like I'm gonna need one. Like watch the stream. I close the stream and just like break down in tears when it goes off. Cause like, yeah, I know the whole story of the dang game, but it's like, I know I'm doing this for you, cause you know I love you. But it's like at the same time, I'm just reliving the journey again. Because, you know, like I said, I plan on playing all the games for you so you can enjoy the experience. And it's like, I'm reliving it too. So it's like, all the nostalgia and the emotions, they're coming back. I feel like I'm in, like, freshman year again. I had no idea where we were. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So, Kyoko, there's something I want to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent we represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
I'm pretty sure they said concise, but whatever. It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. It's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains... Before I came here, I was looking up info about the school online. I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Host Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride... The reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak... It's because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reunited after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk about. There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There is something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. Ow. Ow. Sorry. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing. One thing I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind, like I said. I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I had to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, just to cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul? I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't even know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I like that, getting some Kyoko backstory. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Host Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember, that hatch on the ground is near the trash room. Remember that hatch on the ground in the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where it will come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should be open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so? Looks like we're back.
Whew.
But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back at Host Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I would never have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. So, what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out, and it's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying, rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry, what you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind is ensnared? You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mikuro's death. There's a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little... super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Can I teleport there? Yes. Yes, it's nice to see, you know, Kyoko is started to it's clear as day now that Kyoko is putting it's clear that Kyoko's gotten like some development, as you can see, because back then, yes, she would talk to Naegi, even though she said like I trust you, she would always talk less. She never really gave him that much information, but here she is like talking so much, letting him know so much about her life, when usually she always kept things secret, which is like really nice to see. It shows how much she's come to like trust him, and like the effect, and plus the effect he has on her, it shows more because in like there's a light novel which takes place...
Well now.
Monokuma, damn you. There's a light novel that takes place about Kyoko's past, and I'll explain more about it after I'm done the dialogue here. Hey. Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
I don't believe it!
Yes, that is also true. He did throw down his own life. That is also true. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do?
Shing!
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko!
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However,
But before you do, let me say one thing.
now,
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh?
Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
because
Well, you set up this latest trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
in other words,
I was supposed to be chosen as the Black End and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
however,
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
right,
And in response to that unexpected development,
indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Black End and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, no more than that. You must have realized what Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However,
But then, there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to your aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Black End is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Black End is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
that doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth.
Boom, boom!
And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
Because
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you love to inspire.
however,
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. I love that this song is playing so much. This is Kyoko's theme song, I'm telling you right now. Like, this song plays with some badass shit going down. I love it. This song... yes. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say that we're just making all this up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. You have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. Look at that smirk on her face. She knows she got him. She knows she got the mastermind in a corner. What you gonna do now, huh? If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair.
That's what I like to hear.
Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A trial, a fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this will be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason could the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So time for bear jokes. Now what you suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
In other words,
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And that would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win, or my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. Though we still have a shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
For this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around at the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself!
then that'll be enough to qualify as a... qualify! I like that. That'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? Honestly, I can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when the class trial is held. Right? It has been a hot minute since we listened to Monokuma's music, and I know you love it so much.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And that's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious, I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations, and having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception? That's part of the regulations? Which would have to mean that whoever killed Mukuro... It's very polarizing. It's a very polarizing approach, I know. But okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Full Speak Academy since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd he go so quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry!
I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad?
Whew.
He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto. Let's go. Okay. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. overall, things turned out way better than than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Okay! That seems like a nice place to stop. Yes, we did Trial 5. It was a little back and forth between Naegi and Makoto. Naegi and Kyoko, my fault. And we were trying to figure out which one of them killed Mukuro. And in the end, we did the bad end. Everybody got together. Crazy, I know, but it was a dream of what could have happened if we actually decided to get Kyoko killed. Kyoko, Dawn did some slick shit and got my boy Makoto framed. And then, but Alter Ego came in, saved us, and then Kyoko came and saved us. And we also learned a lot about her. She is the ultimate detective, which makes a lot of sense. And, now she's like, we gonna do this. We stopping. We are, oh yeah, and the mastermind is her, the headmaster is her father. And now she's like, I want to find my father and cut all ties with him because all this and that detective business junk. Oh yeah, I'll guess real quick. But like I was saying, the light novel based on Kyoko, it pretty much talks about her backstory, about when she was a girl and like what she was taught by her grandfather, what it means to be a detective. Like, I'll give you like a little bit of info right here. I don't care. But pretty much in the light novel, her grandfather told her that detectives, like, uncovering the truth of a mystery, always put that first, even before like your friends and family. And like, because of this, Kyoko was always, you know, distancing herself from people. She never really got close to anybody, but she did have like one friend. There was one person that she actually worked with and that kind of stuff. And then with Naegi, we see Naegi, you know, put all his trust in Kyoko. She was never really trustworthy of him because, you know, distancing herself. But she saw how much Naegi cared about her as a friend, and, you know, she started beginning to grow. Plus Makoto's done a lot for Kyoko, and she's beginning to like, you know what? I trust this boy. He's a naive fool, but I trust him. Cause like, during her free time events, she calls out Naegi on his on how easily he trusts people. Like, she says that's foolish of him to do such a thing. Like, trust people so easily and get you killed one day. But with that being said, we're gonna stop here. Tomorrow we're gonna do another. Let's see. Today is well, it's 12 a.m. It's 12 in the morning now, so like it's Thursday, but technically I'm gonna still count it as Wednesday. So tomorrow we're gonna come back, we're gonna come back, do stuff. And since this is the last chapter, the investigation is gonna be real long, so I'll do all that tomorrow, and then on Friday, trial, which was Friday, is going to be not Friday, because I always stop at the end of the investigation. Saturday will be the finale of Danganronpa, the first game. It was a fun ride. We blazed through this together, me and you, Urza. But and then so Saturday should be the finale, and then Sunday we start in Super Danganronpa 2, the game you really excited for. So have a nice night, and you already know the deal. Same time tomorrow. You like this adventure? I'm really, really glad you did. And there's more to come on this fantastic journey. Now, have a nice night, my